welcome back to my channel. Today I am partnering with my foundation bestie here on YouTube, and we're going to show you our top 5 concealers and our top 5 foundations. If you're interested in seeing what our picks are, then just keep watching. Hey guys, so thank you so much for clicking on my video. Like I said today, I am going to be showing you my top 5 foundations, top 5 concealers for my complexion. Now, before we get started, I do want to tell you what my skin type is like. I have combination leaning oily skin. I really don't have oily skin on the perimeters of my face, but it is pretty oily in the T-zone. During the summer, I live in Texas and it's very humid, and so it tends to get a little oilier, okay? So I want to premise by saying that. Before we get into the countdown, don't forget to like if you like what you see, consider subscribing, and definitely go follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That's where all the fun's at. You can see what I'm doing with my current eyeshadow palettes or what my top picks are, and so it's just a lot of fun to talk makeup over there. Now, I also want to introduce who I'm collabing with today. Today I'm going to be collabing with the beautiful Gigi's Beauty. She is my friend here on YouTube. I actually met her on the platform, and you know, it's gonna be 2 years since I met her, and I just think she's the sweetest girl. She loves all things luxury beauty. She lives in Canada, and she is just gorgeous, you guys. Drop dead gorgeous, but has a heart of gold, and so I just absolutely love her. Now, I mentioned that she's my foundation bestie because it just seems like we tend to have a lot of the same tastes in foundations. During the summer, we're almost even similar shade, but I thought it was interesting to see, like, I know what my top 5 are. I want to see what hers are, to see if there's any other foundations that I could pick up. Also, if my foundation reviews are helpful for you, you may find her channel to also be helpful for you. So just wanted to introduce her to all of you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start with concealers because a foundation is my top love. So let's start with concealers first. These are not in any particular order. I'm just gonna grab them as I talk about them. I will start by saying that I don't have the biggest concealer collection. I think I only have maybe about 10, but I did pick my top 5, the ones that I know, no matter what, always look beautiful, don't crease, and don't dry out the under eye. I don't particularly have dry under eyes, but these are the ones that make my under eyes look beautiful. The first one, if you've been rocking with me for just a little while, will not be a surprise. It's going to be the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. I absolutely love this. Let me show you all the ways. Look at that. I've used it down. I mean, there's even some areas here that don't have concealer anymore. I'm really proud of that. Number one, because you don't use a lot of concealer. You know, I'm not sitting there like dragging concealer all over my face, so this product will tend to last a little longer, but also because even after, you know, the 1.5 years that I've had this, like, it just works so well. I constantly check my stuff because I do have a lot of makeup, and so with cream products specifically, I make sure that they don't go bad. This still smells good, guys. I've had it for about 1.5 years, and I'm almost done with it, but I'm just trying to get every little bit out. I'm in the shade 2N. This stuff is beautiful. It just makes it look creamy and lush and plump, but it doesn't crease. It doesn't move everywhere. It doesn't wear off in this area. I tend to see my concealers wear off sometimes here, and this just stays put in the most natural, beautiful way. I will definitely be picking this up when I run out, and like I said, it lasts for a long time. You get 0.37 fluid ounces, so it is quite a bit of product. Love this one. I'm not ranking my concealers, but if I had to rank them, this would be the #1 spot. I've also had this one the longest compared to the other concealers I'll be showing you, and it has always stayed in my #1 spot. The next concealer that is just so amazing, I love it for like very light makeup days. In general, my foundation is more of lighter coverage, but this concealer is amazing. This is the Makeup Forever Self-Setting HD Concealer. I have mine in the shade 31, and I told a story about this concealer. We were at Sephora with my sister, and she needed a concealer, and so she was talking to the Sephora rep, and the Sephora rep said this was her absolute favorite, and so she picked it up. It was at the beginning-ish of COVID, so like we couldn't really test the products or anything like that. So as we're walking away from Sephora, I grab the concealer and I just kind of swatch it on the back of my hand, and it looked nice. So I do this and I tap under my eyes, and I just could not believe it. Like when it says self-setting, it absolutely is. You do not need powder to set this concealer down so that it won't crease. It just sets on its own. So it, when you're trying to do like very minimal makeup or whatever, it just makes it look really, really nice. And I love it. This one's almost out. You can kind of see, let me see. Yeah, you can kind of see, like, I've gone in on this one, you guys. It's so, so good. It's good in high humidity, and it just looks very, very natural. I'm really excited because I think we've seen some sneak peeks on Trendmood. Makeup Forever's coming out with a self-setting HD foundation. I don't really know about the coverage details or anything yet, but I'm definitely picking that up because this product is bomb. Next concealer is one from the drugstore, actually, and this one is the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Serum Concealer. This is also a very nice, very natural concealer. It does not crease on me. It does not make my under eyes look dry or heavy or creasy at all. I'm 40 years old, so I do have fine lines under my eyes, but this one's just so, so pretty. It actually kind of beats out some of the higher end concealers that I have. I heard about this concealer through Lisa J here on YouTube. She loves to find drugstore dupes for high-end products, and this one is so, so nice. It says that it's a serum concealer, you guys. To be honest, I don't have a go-to concealer every single day. I kind of just go with what I'm feeling that day. This one also has those self-setting properties, so if you didn't want to set it with a powder, if you have extra dry under eyes or whatever, you don't have to. It will stay put, and I really, really like that. The reason that I don't use this one as much as others is because it's a little bit lighter for my complexion. During the winter, which we are in right now, I have been using it a little more. It's definitely brightening even when I don't have any sun on my face, and I've been enjoying this a lot the last few weeks. But this is such a pretty concealer. Don't need to really set it with powder. It's gonna be fine. If you have oily skin in general, I would set it just a little bit, but it's not gonna crease or look crepey or dry or anything like that. Beautiful, beautiful find at the drugstore. Just for reference, this is in the shade Light Medium. The next one is a newer concealer to me that I purchased with a foundation that I'll be talking about. Actually, I just wanted to do a full face of this brand. And I'm talking about the Estee Lauder Double Wear Radiant Complexion Concealer. This stuff is good, you guys. It's kind of a thicker formula like the Too Faced concealer. It is creamy, like really, really creamy. I also want to just say, like, it feels really creamy when you apply it. And so the first couple times I would set it with a powder, and then it kind of looked a little dry. But as I worked with it more and more, what I noticed with this one is that I don't always set it. If I do, it's going to be with a very wispy, like, loose type of brush. I'm not going to pack powder on. I'm just going to very lightly brush under it, because if you over powder this after you apply it, it could be a little thick and creasy or dry, but it's totally not if you prep it the right way. So I always use eye cream under the eyes. I put just a tiny little dot in here, a tiny little dot there, and then I just spread it out, whether it's with my finger or with a brush. There's 3 concealer brushes that are kind of my go-to right now, and they're going to be the Rose & Ben Beauty. This is the concealer brush, complexion brush. Then I also have this Angie Hot and Flashy, the concealer brush that mimics the 101. So, so beautiful. Collaboration with BK Beauty. And then the last few days, I've been using this Sigma X Taylor Wind concealer brush, and I'm kind of liking it. I used it today, and I actually used this concealer today, and I really, really like it. So I just wanted to point that out. What I do is I put my concealer and I let it sit there for about a minute or 2, sometimes even 3 minutes. Then I take my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray and I will spray the brush. I'll spray it. Make sure it's not dripping, you know, with setting spray, but I'll spray it, and then that's how I blend in the concealer. And that's why I say this concealer doesn't need a lot of powder to be set, and it's really, really beautiful. I know that Estee Lauder is kind of, you know, popular for their complexion products. I had never really tried them. The Double Wear foundation is a little too full coverage for me, so I had never ventured into this brand, but I love, love, love this concealer. And the last concealer, and one that I am just loving, they say that this is kind of like an eye cream, which I don't know. It is what it is. My under eyes do look very, very creamy, very beautiful when I have it on. I'm talking about my Kosas concealer. This brand, in my opinion, just blew up in 2021. I mean, it was everywhere, but this concealer especially the cloud powder and the brow gel, just kind of went viral in their own way for that brand, and with good reason. I have all three of those products and I'm loving all of them, but this concealer is really, really nice. When you apply it, it feels like it's like gonna be a little too slippy, too oily, and it's not gonna work. It's gonna crease everywhere. That's not the case, you guys. Again, I put it on like in the strategic areas that I wanna put it on. I do let it set for about, or let it sit there for about 3 minutes so that it kind of dries down a little bit. And the way that I like to blend this one out is with my finger, actually. And I'll just kind of slowly work it in. It is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It does not crease, even though it's so, so creamy. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what the technology is, but it doesn't crease under my under eyes. I do set this with a powder, but even then so, you know, I've forgotten to set it before, and I'll look in the mirror and it's like, I do have lines under my eyes, but it's nothing that, like, you know, a finger wouldn't just kind of fix. But in general, you're not going to have a problem with this slipping and sliding and moving around. It is beautiful. All right, so those are my top concealers. Let me know if you've tried any of these or if you have a holy grail that you absolutely love that I should try, okay? Let's go to my favorite makeup product of all. All right, so when it comes to foundation, I normally also stick to luxury makeup just like Gigi does. But I'm going to throw you guys for a loop. At the end of this, I have an honorable mention that I don't care who you are, what kind of makeup you like to buy. It is a must try. But we're going to leave that to the end, and it's going to blow your mind, okay? But we're going to go ahead and start with what I'm wearing today, actually, and I'll explain what I did because I'm really, really loving this combo. My foundation looks so, so good today. My first foundation that I'd like to share with you is the Chanel Ultra Latent Velvet. This is so, so nice, you guys. I'm in the shade BR42, and this is a foundation that comes with a little bit of SPF, broad spectrum 15, and it says that it has like the blurring smooth effect, and I can tell you absolutely 1000% it does. It does make your face feel like velvet. I mean, I think that it has like one of the ingredients must be like powder of some sort or mica. I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of term here because I don't know my ingredients well, but it has something powdery, like it makes it feel powdery and velvety, and it feels so, so good. Now, this one is going to be very specifically for my oily skin girls, okay? Because like I said, I do have combination oily skin, and even in the summer, I have to prep the perimeter of my face pretty well with a moisturizing primer, a hydrating primer of some sort, because it can be a little bit drying if I don't. But if you prep the skin in the areas where you're not too oily, well, and then you apply it everywhere. I like applying this with my fingers, actually. It looks flawless, you guys. It looks absolutely flawless. It is so beautiful. Angie from Hot and Flashy actually has called this her holy grail of all holy grail foundations for quite a few years, and that's why I decided to try it last year. But I love this one so, so much. Now, it's a little too mattifying for wintertime, so I haven't used it as much, but what I decided to do is to mix it with my other favorite foundation at the time, which is the No. 1 de Chanel foundation. This is from the new Camellia line that was just released this year. You guys, oh, it's so pretty. It's so, so pretty. I do have my review up on this foundation on my channel. I'll pop it up here, but it is just the most beautiful, beautiful coverage ever. It just, I know that it's just a base product, so it technically doesn't change the way your face looks, but when you put it on, your face, like, it almost changes, like you look prettier. I don't know what it is, but I love this foundation so much. I recommend it to everybody. I do think that this foundation is a little more hydrating than the Ultra Latent Velvet, but I also think that even with my combination oily skin where my T-zone gets oily even in the winter, this holds up so well, you guys. Lately, I've shared with my channel that my husband has been in the hospital with COVID, and so I'm wearing a mask all the time, sometimes for many hours at a time. And although some of the foundation or the powder will come off on the mask, it stays put. Like when I take my mask off, I don't have lines where the foundation wore off or anything like that. I don't have any dryness anywhere. My T-zone still gets a little oily and I just blot it. It's fine, but it stays put. It is long wearing in my opinion, and it just provides the most beautiful, effortless coverage ever. Today we mixed the two, so I'm loving what I have. I did prep my face with my Bobbi Brown face base, especially in the perimeters, and then I mix the two. And it's so funny because this one's actually really, really runny, and this one's a little more thicker, even though they give you like opposite results. But the blend was beautiful. These both are in shade BR42, and I am loving these. Let me know if I should try the Chanel concealer. I've heard that it's really good, but I've never tried it. So if you have, please let me know. The next one, I think that I even mentioned it in my last foundation video, but I'm not too sure. And I'm talking about the Gucci Natural Foundation. Oh my God, you guys, this is so, so beautiful. It is, I don't know, like it just conforms with like the times or the seasons. Like I did buy this with the hydrating primer that came with it when it released in, I think, December of 2020, but I did buy the primer as well, and I love it so much. I can use that primer even though it's hydrating during the summer, during the spring, during the winter. It always works well. This has kind of been a really cold winter for Texas. I'm in Dallas, and so I have resorted to like the thicker like Bobbi based face base, but this is so beautiful. I wore it yesterday, and it's like sometimes, you know, I have to give all my foundations a little love, but sometimes it's been a while and then I try it again and I'm like, oh, this is so good. It's like love all over again. It is so beautiful. I also think that when this released, people were kind of all over the place. Like people with dry skin for sure didn't like it. But then I heard a couple of people with oily skin that didn't like it, that it got patchy. I've always had nothing but the most beautiful results every single time I use this. And this is one of my top foundations. I have tried using like brushes and sponges and things like that to apply my foundation. But the last 6 months or so, it's been with my Nature's favorite little blending tools, just my fingers. If it's a little bit of a thicker or more full coverage foundation, I will go in with a damp beauty blender and just kind of press everything in. But even just application with your fingers works just fine. I love it, love it, love it. The next one is a stick foundation, and one that also, just like the Chanel, the No. 1 Day Chanel, like it just makes me look pretty, feel pretty. Like everything is perfect. It looks flawless, natural, not dry, not heavy, not anything but perfection. And that's going to be my Westman Atelier foundation stick. Oh my God, you guys. I have fallen in love so hard with this brand. I only have, like, I don't have the eye products. I think they sell a couple eye products, but I have all their complexion stuff like the blushes, the highlight, the bronzer stick. Everything just works so, so nicely. It's a very easy makeup day when I use my Westman Atelier foundation. I'll usually take my Westman Atelier foundation and I'll just apply it. I'll go in with my BK Beauty 101 or 106, and it's like the quickest application. There's no streaks, there's no dry patches, it's not anything. It doesn't collect around my nose. It's such natural coverage. I also like that on days where I want to be a little fancier, you can build this up to a more medium to fullish coverage. I do like that. It builds so, so nicely, and it is just perfection. Now, this foundation is so, so beautiful. I think Westman Atelier is such a refined brand, so sophisticated, but like their complexion products are just so, so good. I mean, like their blush, their cream blush, it almost looks like it gives your cheek like a glass-like appearance. That's how beautiful these products are, and I just really, really love this foundation. I haven't done a foundation review on this. It's not a new foundation, but I just wanted to share with you guys that I really, really love it. The next one was my best of beauty for 2021, and it is my Estee Lauder Double Wear Sheer Long Wear Makeup. This does have an SPF of 19 as well, and when it came out last summer, I think around August maybe, I immediately ran to grab this because I kind of had a little bit of FOMO. Like everybody loves the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and I don't. It's too full coverage. It's too cakey on my complexion. Like my skin doesn't love full coverage in general. And everybody would always talk about how beautiful that foundation was, how it was so good for humidity and for weddings and for the heat. Like it just didn't move. It stayed in place. It looked gorgeous. Not on me. And when something doesn't work for me, like instead of me just accepting it, like, no, it doesn't work for me, I kind of take it a little personal. Like, why? Why doesn't it work for me? Like, what am I doing wrong? I wasn't doing anything wrong. It's just that we're all so different. Our complexion likes different things, and mine likes this one. This is so, so pretty, you guys. Even from the packaging, like I really like that it has like this plastic packaging. It's so good for travel, and I kind of see it as like a tinted SPF almost. And so I'll just, again, put it on the back of my hand and go in with my fingers, treat it like a lotion almost, and it's flawless application every single time. I really, really like the level of coverage that you get with this. You can try and build it up a little bit, but it doesn't build up much at all, which I love. So we're going to be talking about a light to medium type of coverage, and that is perfect for me. It feels like just skin when you have it on your skin, very light, but it still really does correct any color correcting that you need. It really makes it look natural, and it makes your skin look really, really juicy and good, and I really, really like it. When I wear this foundation, I almost don't even have to set my face with powder. It stays in place. During the summer, I do get a little bit oily here, but during the winter, I don't set this with a powder. It is just perfect. It stays put. It is extremely long wearing. I think the longest I've worn this foundation for is like 16 hours maybe. I have really long days with work and everything, and it stays put. And maybe like 12 hours in, the other day I was wearing this, and 12 hours in, I had not set it with a powder, and my nose was just a tiny bit dewy, not even oily, just dewy. And I just took my fingers, my clean fingers, and I just kind of pressed the oils back in because it's winter, and it looked instantly flawless again. And so this one is one not to sleep on, you guys. All right, there are my top 5 foundations. Now, I told you guys that I had a little bit of an honorable mention at the end. You guys, every single foundation that I've shown you today is considered a luxury beauty foundation. It is more higher end pricing, and it's found at more luxurious retailers, blah, blah, blah. The foundation I have to tell you about, I have to, and that you probably should run and get, and that you probably only need to take a $10 bill to the store with you, is going to be the Essence Pretty Natural Foundation. I did a trying new makeup video like a month ago. You guys, I can't stop using this foundation. It is so, 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 so beautiful, okay? I've tried 3 foundations this year in January. I tried the Charlotte Tilbury foundation, which was trash. And then I tried the #1 de Chanel, and I tried the Essence Pretty Natural Foundation. And let me tell you that of those 3, and honestly, this is gonna creep up into my favorite top 5 foundations. Of the 3 that I've tried this year, this is by far my favorite foundation. It is the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful coverage. Also kind of mimics this one in the sense that you really don't need to set it too much. I only set it in the T-zone. It's a hydrating foundation with hyaluron and aloe vera. I don't think I have any other foundation with aloe vera. I may be wrong. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But it says that it's hydrating. Your face stays juicy and nice and feeling good and natural all day. But it does not get oily, you guys. And as your oils kind of poke through, it just continues to look natural. But this is not one that you have to wear for a while for it to kind of mix in with your oils and make it look pretty. This is instantly gorgeous, instantly flawless. And it stays that way all day long. You guys, the price on this foundation is $6.99. I found it at Ulta, and I almost like died and went to foundation heaven, okay? And I try and tell everybody about this foundation, and when I do, they're like, yeah, duh, like we have it. And it's kind of newish, but like I just didn't hear of it. You know, I'm not really... I don't really look out for like drugstore makeup, to be honest. I look for luxury and indie makeup, but this one, can I please implore you? Can I send you $6.99 to go try this foundation? You guys, it is the most beautiful foundation. I don't think I told you the shades on the other stuff that I have. In my Gucci, this one's really hard to shop for online. This one is in the shade 280C, 280 Cool. My Westman Atelier, this one's in the shade, this is in the shade Atelier 6. That's the color for my Westman Atelier. And then in my Estee Lauder, it's the same as the Double Wear, which I don't use anyway, but it's the 3N2 Wheat. That's my shade on this one. And then my shade in this one is the 170 Cashmere, 170 Neutral Cashmere. Initially, I thought that it might be a little too dark because of how it looks in the packaging, but it's totally not. I thought that they had a limited shade range, but they don't. I mean, it's not the best, but I think they have 30 or 34 shades. So that's pretty good for a drugstore foundation. In general, there's very little that I don't like from Essence, so I guess it's not that surprising, but I wanted to share this with you because you guys, this is like, for all my luxury beauty lovers, I promise you, you will not be disappointed with this $7 foundation. It's a must try for sure. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are my top picks for foundations and concealers at the moment. In general, it's one of my favorite makeup products. I do tend to go with a lighter coverage, but I just think it's fun to compare it to what other people like, especially people like Gigi, my foundation bestie here on YouTube. So definitely go check her out. Go see what her top picks are. Tell her that Yadi sent you. And thank you, Gigi. I love you so much. Thank you for collabing with me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!